YouTube was good. It's your boy, Paul's Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. You know, I sat here and just like I said, I'm always thinking as far as like, okay, well, what the fuck can the crazy uncle present to y'all today? And will it actually really make sense? And so I try not to talk about what the fuck everybody else is talking about because 9 times out of 10, whatever the hell everybody is talking about, shit, I done talked about it years prior. Okay? Just like that shit that's going on now, you know, with Dwayne Wade and his son. Apparently, he has totally and completely crossed over. And so, just like I said, I talked about that shit 2 years ago, right? So, and even the title of this show, for the most part, I've actually like at least how the title is, right? In a sense, you can say that, okay, well, I tap danced around it, right? But sometimes you actually really have to go back and not to say do an instant replay, but if you actually really stop and think about, okay, let's look at the Georgia Guidestones. Let's look at the so-called person that did the Georgia Guidestones, right? And then we go back some 70 years, damn near 70 years, right? And we look at what happened on Jekyll Island in the year 1910, around the November time frame, especially when you know who the hell was president back then, right? And what the powers that be or the powers that shouldn't be was actually really trying to do, right? And for those of y'all that actually really don't know the story of Jekyll Island, right? All I can tell you is this: a lot of very important people that were trying to monopolize what we have now or what they have now, right? They went there under false pretense, right? Came up with the most diabolical plan ever, right? But they made it in such a way, right, that oh, you know what? This can actually really do some good. And in all actuality, it's probably like the worst shit that ever happened to this country, or one of the most fucked up things that has happened to this country, right? And then who's to say that the president at the time he might have knew what the fuck was going on? He might have went along with it, but regardless of whether or not the president at that time, whether or not he knew what the fuck was going on, or if he didn't know what the fuck was going on, right? Just know that some shit got signed into law because 9 times out of 10 they probably threatened his ass. Hey, look, you don't sign this paper, then we can't guarantee what the fuck gonna happen to you come next Tuesday. So, so let's look at this. The powers that be, they go to Jekyll Island, which sits right outside of Georgia, right? You get a lot of people. I want to say the numbers probably could have been anywhere from 10 to 12 or from 10 to 13. Really ain't too sure about it. But then, like I say, for those of y'all that actually really want to know about the meeting that happened in Jekyll Island, then I suggest that you do what the fuck I always tell y'all to do is go do your research. Go seek that true knowledge, not that bullshit, right? And then once you do that, then how about you fast forward some damn near 70 some well like this, some 69 years and change later. And then you get this guy, R.C. Christian, right? The Georgia Guidestones, right? And then he come up with these 10 rules that's in what, 8 different languages? And then it's like you're sitting it up like Stonehenge. But here's the deal. This is where the problem comes in at, right? You look at the actual Stonehenge, and then you look at that shit what he put up, right? Them 2 different time zones. So whatever the hell it is that you were trying to do, right? It ain't gonna really it's not gonna mean the same from what they did way back in the day, right? And then it's just for the simple fact, considering how old those stones really are, right? You gotta be like, okay, well, who put them there? How big, how tall were the people, right? Because a lot of you motherfuckers actually really think that everybody was the same height. Like it really wasn't no giant motherfuckers around during that time frame. Only giant people was able to bring that shit into play. They just put it out there, people. So like, but in our case, I'm not really fucked up about the original Stonehenge. I'm talking about this shit that actually really just got torn down, probably not even 2 months ago or whatever. So all I'm saying is this: you get a bullshit man that created the Georgia Guidestone, and motherfuckers believe that shit, right? And then, like I say, back in 1910, 13 people, or however many people it were, went down to Jekyll Island under false pretense that they let them tell it. The meeting was so secretive that everybody, the people that were involved, did not use their actual names because I guess they felt like they didn't want shit to get back to nobody. So basically what the crazy uncle is telling y'all is this, right? It's what the fuck I always tell y'all. No bullshit when you see it, right? And as far as regardless, put like this, regardless of level, because 9 times out of 10, the same people or the same, put like this, the person that did the Georgia Guidestones are the same people that had that meet down there in Jekyll Island. Biological, or no, psychological warfare at its best. Because here's the deal. The Federal Reserve was because after that shit, the Federal Reserve came into play. So the Federal Reserve loans the government money, right? Because ain't nothing, listen, ain't nothing federal about the goddamn Federal Reserve, right? But then, let's just say up until August 15th, 1971, when President Nixon did away with the motherfucking Gold Standard Act, right? But then, let's backtrack some 7 years and change earlier, or maybe 8 years and some change. In other case, let's go back to November 22nd, 1963, right? President Kennedy is in office. President Kennedy gets assassinated. Now, a lot of people will come up with their own explanation on why President Kennedy was assassinated. A lot of people didn't like President Kennedy, right? But I just look at it like this. If it wasn't for him signing Executive Order 11110, is the does that happen in Dallas? Right? And then President Nixon wouldn't have to do what the fuck he did some years later in 1971. And then the whole deal with President Kennedy and President Carter, another story, right? But for those of y'all that actually really want to actually really go look into that, shit, go on YouTube and look at it. Now I will admit, because you go back, you look at the footage, people have survived from headshots, right? But that's neither here nor there. But basically, what I'm trying to tell y'all is this: you look at this R.C. Christian guy who came up with the Georgia Guidestones. Then you look at the shit that happened in Jekyll Island. They didn't go by their name. They didn't go by their true name either, right? So all what I'm saying is that, put it like this: if you do something, right, or you about to do something, and if you can't use your own goddamn name, you already know that it's fucked up, right? So the whole deal is this, and I can't remember if I said this in previous shows, but in case I didn't say it in previous shows, I'm finna say it right now. When you get a country that is built by the criminal, ran by the criminal, who the fuck you think is gonna goddamn benefit? The goddamn criminal, right? But now the question becomes, well, who's the damn criminal? The motherfucker that y'all putting in office. Notice I said y'all, right? And then again, we can also look at it like this. Who's to say that y'all will put anybody in goddamn office? They sitting up here get put like this, people. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that this is a for sure way that how the United States government actually really count people, because like I say, everybody ain't registered to vote. But the thing about it though is this, put like this, motherfuckers will lie all goddamn day long, right? Motherfucker be like, hey, what's saying? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But the thing about it though is this, who put in the goddamn numbers? Who's to say that anybody's voting for any goddamn body? These motherfuckers, they already know who's gonna be in office and why. Just like what I told y'all a while back. Or at least in some shit that I saw, like what President Ford said on how he felt like how the first woman president was gonna come about. And I'll be damned if that shit has not come to pass. Because here's the deal. If Biden croaks right tomorrow, guess who the fuck finna be president? And then, so Harris becomes president, then guess who finna be vice president? Goddamn Pelosi with her old ass. So, put like this. I have no problem. With a woman being president. If I actually really thought you was actually really gonna run shit. Ain't a president that this country has did a goddamn thing. The president is nothing more than a goddamn front man. Meaning, if shit gets fucked up, they got somebody to blame that shit on. The scapegoat, if you will. Right? So, because, put it like this. If Congress wants to pass a law and the president says, hell no. Oh, really? They all what the fuck that guy gonna do is go get 2/3 of the vote. And they override what the fuck the president. He didn't say hell no. But you go back and get 2/3 of the vote to override what the fuck the president just said. It should be like, God damn it, if I tell you hell no, let that be the end of it. So again, people, all of this is bullshit. And I know what a lot of you motherfuckers gonna say. Well, goddamn, you know what? You served in the army. Yes, I did. And and I go back and I look at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I did. And just know sometimes it fucks with me. So, hey, it is what it is. And it's just for the simple fact that, put like this, unlike any other profession, when you're, put like this, when you're under contract, you can't just get out. You can't get out unless you do something rather spectacular. And then, yeah, they're going to get your ass out of there. And so my whole deal is this, right? You do what you do to survive, right? And I just think this. I just really think that right to this day that if the plan that was presented that has been put in our face wasn't really put in our face, then 9 times out of 10, a lot of the shit that we do right today, we probably wouldn't do. And then who's this? But like, you know what? In a sense, the Amish people, they got it right because they don't do no running water. They don't do the electricity. They don't do none of that shit, right? So, so in our case, I just look at it like this, right? I mean, all I'm saying is, look, question every goddamn thing, every motherfucking thing. I don't give a fuck what it is, right? You can question, well, hey, how come is it when I drink so many glasses of water, I gotta go take a piss? Or if I drink so many 40 ounces, I gotta go. Look, if it don't goddamn it make sense to you, ask motherfucking questions. Ask questions. Really figure out what the fuck is going on. That's all what the fuck. That's all what the fuck the crazy uncle can tell you to do. But just know that what I just mentioned, R.C. Christian, the Georgia Guidestones, the shit that happened in Jekyll Island, right? It's all bullshit, people, right? And it's been going on since day one. So with that being said, hey, guess what? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner. Paulus Harris, a.k.a. Crazy Uncle. Till next time.